one of the most highly anticipated HomeKit devices is finally here, the Aqara G4 Doorbell. The new device from Aqara is the first battery-powered HomeKit Secure video doorbell that also features local AI face processing. Now, I've been testing this for over 2 months, and to be honest, I've got mixed thoughts on the performance of it, so continue watching to find out what my thoughts are and what issues I've uncovered. I do want to point out that Aqara did provide the G4 for this review, but this will not affect my opinion whether it is positive or critical of the device. If you are thinking about buying one of these and this video helps you out, there's some links in the description below that link to affiliate sites such as Amazon that help this channel out at no extra cost to you. So let's start with design and features. In the box you get everything you need to get started: the doorbell, a chime, some screws, batteries, and a small screwdriver for the security pin, along with a USB-C cable for the chime. You also get an angled wedge if you want to play around with the placement of the doorbell. Now, opinions have been divided on the design, but Aqara has gone with a simple block design with the front camera, which is a 162 wide angle lens at 1080p, and this also houses the microphone, ambient light sensor, the PRI sensor, and this is all built into the circle at the top. The doorbell button on the lower half has a color LED ring surrounding it, which can be disabled if you choose to do so. The rear has an adhesive backing for those that don't have the option to screw the G4 or want to use the angled wedge to put it on the wall. One side features a plastic plug to house a screw that is used to remove the doorbell from its backplate. Taken off the back is where you insert the 6 AA supplied batteries, and above this compartment are 2 terminals for doorbell wires to allow for a wired connection. The chime repeater, which is essentially the smart hub, so to speak, that does all the local processing and connection to HomeKit features, has extendable local storage for video footage via a micro SD card, which supports up to 512 gigabytes. It also has 7 days of free cloud storage, and the chime repeater is powered by USB-C and has a siren of 95 decibels. And it's worth pointing out, Aqara do say the chime and the doorbell need to be within no more than 5 meters to get a good connection. Now let's look at install and setup. Now with this doorbell, setup is very straightforward, and because I used the battery option, I didn't need to hardwire anything. However, long term, if I do continue to use the doorbell, it will be hardwired. Installing just required me to remove my existing doorbell, and for reference that is a Logitech Circle View doorbell, and screw the doorbell in place after I inserted the batteries. I then secured it in place using the secure screw and then put over the cover. I then plugged in the chime repeater and started scanning the HomeKit setup code. So to do this, I opened up the Home app on my iPhone and scanned the pairing code. HomeKit will find the G4, and you will follow the normal process by choosing a name, assign it to a room, then choose all the relevant setup preferences that belong to a doorbell with HomeKit Secure video support. This is such as setting up the recordings and streaming options, the HomePod chimes, and also facial recognition. So once that's all done, it's added to HomeKit. Now, one thing I had an issue with is binding it to the Aqara app. No matter what I did, I could not bind with the Aqara app when I set it up directly within the Home app, which I find really strange. The only time I could get it to connect to the Aqara app was setting up directly within the Aqara app, and it also set it within HomeKit. Just bear that in mind. I've come across this issue. I'm not sure if this is a wider issue, but it's something that I did feedback to Aqara. They asked me to reset the device, and they said they were looking into it. However, please note, I'm only covering using HomeKit and not covering any of the features within the Aqara app. However, I've got you covered there. Shane Watley features them extensively in his video. The video is coming above now, so you might want to check that out. So let's move on to HomeKit settings and all of the things to do with HomeKit. The Aqara G4 works with HomeKit and HomeKit Secure Video, but to take advantage of HomeKit Secure Video, you do need a HomeKit hub, such as the latest Apple TV, a HomePod Mini, or a HomePod. Plus, you'll need one of Apple's iCloud accounts that at least 200 gig. For the basics of HomeKit, I can view the live stream from the Home app, and the G4 features a motion sensor that is also exposed to HomeKit. To get most out of this doorbell, I think you need to be using it with HomeKit Secure Video. This will give you up to 10 days of saved footage, and older clips will automatically delete it on a rolling basis. Now let's jump into the settings and let's have a look at some of the things you can alter. Firstly, the battery levels, and mine is showing 40% as it's running batteries. It also shows the rooms it's assigned to, and you can switch that around if you want to do so. The G4 shows one accessory, which is the motion sensor. This is a PRI sensor, which in the main, in all devices like cameras, I found PRI sensors to be more accurate than camera-based motion sensors. You also have the option to decide which sort of notifications you get through your phone from the doorbell, including setting up doorbell chimes, and which HomePods will chime when the doorbell is pressed. Under this, you have the option to turn off the chime for the actual doorbell that we installed earlier on. The next steps, and this is only for using HomeKit Secure Video, you have the option to turn it off, so it won't stream or record, only when it detects activity. So when a notification is triggered, it will save it to iCloud, stream, and this will not record at all, or stream and allow recording, so you can view the stream and it will record based on your settings. Now you've got the choice to set it for when you're home and away. In my case, I set it all the time to stream and record when I was home and away. You also have more options that allow you to set up settings which motion is detected, and this covers people, animals, vehicles and packages, and an option to record audio or not. The next option is facial recognition, and this allows you to assign a label to a person's face who might visit regularly. It also uses your iCloud library for known faces, and it will label them automatically on the HomeKit Secure Video timeline. Then you have activity zones, so if you want to exclude an area, for instance, say in the corner, you can do that, and it will stop it from tripping the motion sensor. You can also turn the camera status light on and off and toggle the night vision, depending on what you want to do. Now before we continue with this video, and hopefully you won't mind this introduction, I want to introduce you to HomeKit Authority, and if you're watching a video for the first time of ours, this is an online community dedicated to everything HomeKit and smart home. We cover the latest news from Apple's smart home platform, honest and detailed reviews, and tutorials that will help you get the most out of HomeKit. So while you're here, don't forget to check out the rest of the videos on this channel, and if you'd like to stick around and be part of this community, then we'd love to have you here. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also the bell button to be notified when new content lands. You also can follow us on other social platforms, including Instagram, Facebook and Twitter for more content, and this is at Follow HomeKit. Thank you for support. Let's get back in the video. So let's now jump into what it's like to actually use this doorbell, and this is, in my opinion, where I start to explain some of the challenges I've come across. As you can see, the G4's field of view is actually 16:9, just like a regular camera. So depending on the position of the doorbell, this may be a problem for some, as it might miss packages, for instance, left on the porch. But you do have more vision on either side, so this is pretty good for capturing a wider area. So it really depends what you want, so you have to take that into account before you purchase this doorbell. Both the day and night recorded video is good, and the quality is enough to make out faces and general activity around the front of your home. In terms of speaking to people at doorbell, it's been clear both ways, and I've been able to have a conversation with someone without any issues. So if someone dropping off a package, I've been able to give them the code to my UV box, or tell them where I want the package leaving. Now, HomeKit playback. Firstly, in the home view, the camera has never shown a live view tile. As you know, with HomeKit cameras, you can see a live snapshot or a snapshot of a period in time. And since I've had the doorbell, it's been showing as not responding. Despite resets, resetting my Wi-Fi and all devices, and also feeding this back to Aqara, I've not been able to fix this. However, tapping the live camera view shows it working fine, and it will show you the timeline of motion activity and everything else. So I'm not sure why this has not been working. Once you're in, selecting a clip will play back the clip, and I found this responsive and played back within a few seconds. You also can jump to the live view to the left of the timeline, and this is also very responsive. So it really boggles my mind to think why it's not showing in the camera view as live and showing it as no response. You also can share the clips from the timeline with friends and family. Now moving on to the motion detection, and I've already mentioned the doorbell features a PRI motion sensor, which I've already said normally it is more accurate, but if I'm honest, I found it to be hit and miss. For instance, I have a dog and I take him out for a walk most mornings and most evenings, and to be honest, 30% of the time it would either miss me leaving or coming back, despite other HomeKit cameras recording footage totally fine. So in some regards, I can rule out an issue with HomeKit in general. I've also noticed when I've accessed the motion sensor within the Home app to check its status, it will show an updating message for long periods of time. This suggests to me that something is fundamentally wrong with the HomeKit integration on this doorbell, or there may be an hardware issue. In terms of battery life, as I've mentioned, I use the doorbell with the supplied batteries, which Aqara claim will last 4 months on normal usage. I have to say, just over 2 months of using the doorbell, the batteries are sitting at 40%. So Aqara claim of 4 months seems to be pretty much on track. And this is also more impressive as it's been really cold over the last few months where I live and going down to minus temperatures. In terms of weather performance and outside use, the doorbell is positioned outside and is exposed to rain and elements. However, my front is not south facing, so I do not have issues with doorbell overheating, and I've never had this particular problem at all. In terms of cold, it gets down to about -7 here at the moment, and during the testing period we've had a lot of heavy snow and rain, and I've had no issues. So, my review conclusion. Firstly, I want to take my hat off to Aqara for delivering a HomeKit doorbell that works with batteries, but also a HomeKit doorbell with a feature set at half the price of its competitors. I personally like the design, but it does not look or feel as premium as, say, the Nitatmo doorbell, but that is double the price of this doorbell. But also as well, it's not something you're going to be handling often, so the feel of it should not be a massive concern, and I can't imagine very often it's going to get banged or knocked around if it's just simply on the front of a house. However, from the HomeKit side of things, I don't think Aqara have nailed it. This is because of the missed notification detection that I've experienced throughout my testing, cameras showing offline problems through various times of the day, no response in the home view, and just general clunkiness of the experience. I'm really surprised that Aqara have not fixed these issues or having these issues with this particular product. I've got the Aqara G2H Pro, and that is absolutely rock solid. To be honest, it's one of the best indoor cameras that I could recommend. So I'm pretty sure that Aqara will look to fix some of these issues that have been identified. And when they do, this will be certainly a rock solid product given the price point. So guys, that's the end of the review, and hopefully you found it useful, and if you have, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And if you do have any questions whatsoever, something I may not have covered, because like I said, I've not covered the Aqara app, but I've actually used it with the Aqara app for my testing, just simply not covered it in this video. So if you have got any questions, then hit them in the comment section below, and I will try and get back to you if I know the answer. And also check us out on our social media channels at Follow HomeKit on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. Thank you very much. I'll speak to you soon.